Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another Master Duel video for you, and it's Monday, which of course means it is time once again for our weekly viewer special. If you're new to the channel, or just this series, first of all, welcome, glad to have you here. And second of all, let me tell you what we do here. On Mondays, we take replays from you all, the viewers, to feature them here. It's a good opportunity to not only take a look at some decks or strategies that I might not have time to get to myself, but of course we can come together and cheer each other on for our cool builds and games. So if you want to get in on the viewer special and have your replay featured, go ahead and check out the description below. One of our invite links is going to be for our Discord server, the HexLexPlex. Once you are in there, you're going to want to head over to the Master Duel section, and there's a channel called Viewer Special Submissions. There you will see the channel, and you can drop your 9-digit player ID, and that way I can view your publicly saved replays. Please do make sure that those are saved publicly, and that way I'm able to, of course, view and then share them. And if you have a specific replay that you want me to see, you should also make sure to leave like a screenshot or your opponent's name or the date and time, just something where I know that that's the one game you want me to see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get right on into your games. Okay, our first replay comes to us from BBGH, who is playing a bit of a pile deck that I'm interested in checking out here. It's Branded Sword Soul with Elf Note as well. I have seen Branded and Sword Soul played together on ladder a couple of times, but I've not seen such an extensive package with also Elf Note here as well. Looks like we got a lot of the Yang Zing support here too. Very, very cool. Kind of reminds me of like the Yang Zing stuff in particular. Very much reminds me of, you know, the pile decks you would see in like 2022 when Master Duel first started. So really eager to check this out and see how it plays. And for our opponent, it looks like they are going to be on Zodiac. A lot more of a controlling Zodiac deck with a lot of really interesting techs here. They've got spell cancelers, 2 of them even. They actually have an Atomancipator and Block Dragon engine. I suppose to go with some of their Millennium cards and search out this Barrier Statue of the Drought. And they've got a Kashtira package going on here as well. So yeah, a couple of pile decks duking it out. Couldn't resist the urge to see what's going on here. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so we're going first. Got a lot of different options here. Well, at least a couple. We got the Theo Realize and the Sword Soul Emergency. We're beginning with the Theo Realize, dumping Malice the Pure. Our opponent's going to chain the Fualos. Now, there is something else about this replay that BBGH mentioned, and that's that we are going to be playing through the Fualos. Okay, looks like we did get to see what the card actually was. We put it on the bottom of the deck. So, Malice the Pure coming back off its own effect and then tuning with the Elf Note Power Patron. We're going to synchro for 5 and make Denglong first of the Yang Zing, which is of course how the Yang Zing engine kind of ties in with Elf Note here, right? So now we can add any Yang Zing card. It's going to be Bixie, Water of the Yang Zing. And then we can also add Tinia off the Elf Note Power Patron. Let's summon out the Tinia and then go for Welcome Home. We're also going to use Denglong's effect to dump the Dark Yang Zing monster, and now we can tune for 8. And that's going to make Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon. We're just so smoothly transitioning between all of our different engines here. That's Jiaotu? Darkness of the Yang Zing that got revived. It's the one we sent with Denglong earlier. Now we got White Albaz and Incredible Ecclesia, which does mean that we're locked into level 8 Synchro monsters for the rest of the turn. We've got the 3 Champions of Sword Soul gets to activate here. We're going to end up adding Dogmatica Ecclesia the Virtuous. And now we're going to tune... Oh, I guess we're not locked into 8. Oh, we must not have... Did we not use the effect of White Albaz then? Hang on. I wasn't paying as well attention as I should have been there. Oh, because we special summoned it off Ecclesia. Not its own effect. Of course, of course. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So now here's the Baron. We have the Welcome Home, pulling out the Regina from deck. Can't believe we still haven't used that yet. Regina summons Fortuna. Fortuna is going to place the Rhapsidia. And now we're going to use Rhapsidia to send the Fortuna and revive the Elf Note Power Patron. It's going to let us tune with the Regina and synchro for 7, which will make the Yazi, Evil of the Yang Zing, pivoting back into Yang Zing through Elf Note yet again here. Now Baron's going to pop the Yazi, which will trigger the Yazi effect. We can special summon any worm from our deck, and that's going to get us Sword Soul of Moye. We're going to reveal the Bixie that we added earlier to make our token, and now we can synchro for 8. And it's going to get us the Chi Xiao. Now we're going to use Chi Xiao's effect as well as the Moye draw, chain blocking the search there. Moye draw finds the Fallen and the Virtuous, pretty good draw there, and then we're going to find Sword Soul Blackout with the Chi Xiao. We already have Emergence, so we can just grab the Long Yan with that, and now we can use Long Yan dumping the Bixie in order to special summon, get our token, and synchro for 10 yet again. Is it going to be the Qixing Long Yan this time? Looks like it is. Alright, now Long Yan burns in for 1200. We're going to special summon Dogmatica Ecclesia, and we'll use her effect in order to grab Dogmatica Floridalis. We can set Fallen the Virtuous and the Blackout, and then Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon will come back. Now, of course, Fuelis will make them put a couple of those cards back, but, you know, we have so many cards on field and in hand, they're going to get to keep a lot of theirs as well. Alright, so they're going to begin with Pressure Planet Raitsoth. That's a pretty easy response for us here to use the Qixing Longyan, because it vanishes on activation, meaning it doesn't get to resolve. Looks like they're going to go for Tenki, but yet again, we're going to get rid of the card as it's resolving, and thus, Fallen of the Virtuous will effectively stop the Tenki from getting the search. Now here's the Cashier Fenrir. We're going to use a Qixing Longyan to banish that, do another 1200, and then Golden Sword Soul gets to activate. They're going to respond with the Max C here, which isn't that big of a deal. Honestly, at this point, given how many cards they have in hand, right, it just doesn't matter if they get a couple more draws here. We revive the three Champions of Sword Soul. They're going to go for Fenrir yet again. We're using Chi Xiao to negate the search. This will also, of course, negate the banish effect from the Fenrir as well. Normal summon Ash Blossom, but we get to use the Blackout here, popping the Chi Xiao, Ash Blossom, and Fenrir, so no Baron de Fleur for our opponent. Looks like they're going to set up some Millennium plays here. The Golem that Guardians of Millennium Temple is going to summon itself and then add Wedju Temple. Now Wedju Temple gets to activate, as well as Cashier Birth. They're going to use the Birth in order to try to revive. We're going to use Rhapsodia here, tributing the three Champions of Sword Soul in order to revive the Tinia. They're going to use the Call By on the Tinia, which, does that stop the negate as well? Is it an and then effect? Then if you control a Synchro monster, you can negate. Special summon it then. Okay, so yeah, because we weren't able to special summon, we couldn't negate it. Now here's that Block Dragon from earlier, the Adamantipator stuff actually coming out here. They're going to Synchro for 10. Here's that Baron de Fleur. Block Dragon gets to activate. We're going to use the Baron de Fleur in order to negate that. They're going to respond with their Baron de Fleur. And we've got the Dogmatica Floridalis to respond to as well. And we actually do control the Dogmatica Ecclesia, meaning we will get to negate here. Not only that, we also get to use Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon to pull Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous out of the deck. Now here's Dogmatica Floridalis, that'll negate the Baron, which means that Baron will end up negating the Block Dragon. Fenrir is negated, I believe, right? Or no, this was revived off the Birth, right, so it's not negated anymore. We're going to chain Ecclesia, though, and we're actually summoning out the original Fallen of Albaz, and of course that's going to allow us to use the effect, discarding the Magnum Hut, and then we can fuse with the Baron de Fleur to make Mirror Jade, I presume? Yep, here is Mirror Jade. Let us get that banished and also threaten the ability to board wipe here as well. Now, they're going to link into SP Little Knight, which is a really good sign for us, honestly. Like, if they want to activate Little Knight here to banish, they're more than welcome to, but it looks like they're actually not doing that. They're going to revive Block Dragon here. We're going to use Mirror Jade to banish it. Now they're going to go for Zodiac Barrage. Barrage effect pop itself to summon Rapier. And now they're going to start going for Zodiac plays. I don't think it's possible for them to win at this point on their turn anymore, just given how many of their resources that they've used and how many we still have here. Now, if they had Zeus in their extra deck, I think that might have actually been a different story, right? Because we wouldn't have had a response to that if they went Borbo attack directly and then Zeus wipe our board. I mean, the Mirror Jade would have wiped their board back, but... Okay, so they've got a couple more Rapiers out. They could make a rank 4 here if they feel so inclined, but it looks like they're linking Hammer Kong with Little Knight. And they're making Nightmare Unicorn. I haven't seen that card in forever. Nightmare Unicorn F, discarding Block Dragon, bouncing back the Mirror Jade. Now we're overlaying on top of Chakanai in order to make Drident. Yep, Drident. Drident F, going to detach, popping the Baron de Fleur. We're going to respond with the Regina. And, of course, because we'll have the room, we can also summon from the deck here. Now that the Baron de Fleur is popped. Regina's going to activate. We're summoning Lucinia from deck. And now they're going to summon out the Block Dragon yet again. We're going to respond with the Lucinia effect to bounce one of the Rapiers, and then they're going to overlay on top of the Trident in order to make... Oh, just Tiger Mortar. Okay. Okay, Tiger Mortar F. Sure. Don't think that makes a difference at all. Now they're linking Rapier and Nightmare Unicorn for Access Code Talker. It sure enough is, in fact, Access Code Talker. Alright, looks like they're going to start trying to pop our cards. There goes the Qixing Longyan. Moving into battle phase, we're going to battle over Lucina. But not the Dogmatica cards, because yeah, those can't be destroyed in battle by extra deck monsters. Or can't be destroyed by battle if something with 0 attack in the first place. I wasn't even paying attention to that. So they are on Zeus, what? Could they not have Zeused us with the Borbo and had like a bunch of materials up? They could have even Little Knighted to, or I mean, yeah, Nightmare Unicorn to first anyway, to bounce our monster. I think they kind of misplayed that there, but definitely gives us a really good opportunity to come back here. We're going to use Fallen and the Virtuous to target the Zeus, which will force the effect to activate. And that just means that our opponent's going to have a wide open board at this point, because Zeus will get rid of everything else, including their stuff. And then Fallen the Virtuous still just destroys the Zeus. So now we can summon out literally any monster, including the Ecclesia here, and just swing in for lethal. Wow, so they resolved Fua, they resolved Maxi, they drew so many cards off of each, and yet we still came out on top. That was a really intense back and forth. Very, very good game. Thank you very much for that one, BTB. So let's go ahead and go into the next game. Okay, next replay comes to us from Galatea I, who has another sort of a pile strategy that I'd like to take a look at here. This is one that I have actually seen before, like I've seen deck lists like this, but I have not seen it in action. This is Malice with Mitsurugi. And it looks like we've also got a bit of a Radiant Typhoon engine with the Zodiac Broad Bull here as well. So I kind of already see a little bit of the dots lining up here, I think, but like I said, I haven't seen a list like this in action before, so really eager to check this one out for sure. And did I also see Ace Zero in our extra deck, the Sky Striker Ace Zero? Yeah, with the Camellia here too. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I'm very eager to see this. I think I already maybe see where it's going, but... And then our opponent is going to be on... Oh, they're on a Wake Cup deck. I saw the Mimighouls, but then I was like, wait, what are all these other monsters? Like these seemingly random... No, so Wake Cup is a strategy that's based entirely around flip effects. So looks like this person is using just a bunch of the strongest flip effects, you know, that are available in the game right now. Whirlwind, Weasel, Guard Dog, and of course newer stuff like Enacraft, Atori Mar. It's a neat idea. All right, yeah, I'm definitely eager to see what our turn one ends up looking like if we do like full combo here. Okay, so yeah, we are going first. We did open our Mitsurugi cards, including Saji, so yeah, we're going to have to normal summon that. Thankfully, we have the Aramasa here as well. I've talked about this in a recent video, but I hate opening Saji in Mitsurugi decks, so much so that I've even considered playing 2 Saji just to make sure we always have one in deck, but no, I don't think that's pretty much ever right. If you open, like, literally any other Mitsurugi monster or ritual spell, then you can just normal summon Saji like this and it's fine, but I've had just enough times where I open Saji and nothing else where I've thought about it. Anyway, we're doing Mitsurugi stuff here, summoning out the Murakumo, then tributing it for the ritual. We grab back off the Kusanagi, and now we're going to summon out the Habakiri. Now Murakumo gets to activate, we're going to add prayers. And then, of course, we can revive. Actually, was that the first? No, we did grab it off Kusanagi, okay. And then we're going to link into Camellia. Now, Camellia is going to activate, dumping the Hornet Drones, and then we can link off the Camellia in order to summon out the Kagari. Okay, now Kagari gets to activate. We're going to wheel the Hornet Drones back into our hand, and we can activate Hornet Drones to get our Sky Striker Ace token, and after that, we're going to link into the Ace Zero. Now, what I assume we're going to do next is we're going to activate Ace Zero and then summon Ray and Rose from our deck. Yep, and then we can make a rank 4. And then is that going to be the Broad Bull that gets the Radiant Typhoon stuff? Looks like it. And then we can use Radiant Typhoon, Eldam, and Swen to do the Cherubni into, you know, dumping the Malice stuff to get those plays going. That's clever. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Alright, so we got the chant for the Eldum. Special Eldum. We're linking into the Cherubini here. And the Broadbull on board also gives us another material to then go into the Haggard Lizardos right off rip as well. That's cool. Yeah, I like this quite a bit. It's nice too because you could also use the Sky Striker stuff to make King of the Feral Imps if you already have access to Malice and then do Mitsurugi stuff. So I really like when engines can... I like when engine combos don't just go one way, like one engine to the other, but they can go into each other. That versatility, I think, ends up being really important. Also, looks like we're using Little Knight, not Haggard Lizardos, to get the banish out of our graveyard, which makes a lot of sense. I feel like with the, engines we're all using together here, we might not have the extra deck space for Haggard Lizardos, and just using Little Knight I think would be fine. Although I'll be interested to see if Nightmare Griffin ends up coming up. Okay, we're doing some more Malice things. Got the White Binder. Making the Wicked. Now we're going to link this off into Link Decoder, I would assume. Yep. And then Wicked gets to activate. Going to banish the Chessy Cat in order to search the backup Adagnister. Now we can use the Chessy Cat in order to revive and then link off into a Link 4. Is this going to be... Oh, it's a Link 3. We're making the Heart Scripter. Alright, now Link Decoder gets to revive. We can go for the backup Adagnister here. Still have the GWC face down there as well. Bidding the Druid Swarm. Definitely makes sense given how good the rest of our hand is. Then we can go Chessy Cat plus Wizard Adagnister into IP Masquerena. Now we're linking off everything besides the IP Masquerena in order to summon Allied Code Talker Adagnister, which of course will activate to revive the Heart Scripter. We'll set 2 and then pass. So what's our IP target since we already use SP? Is it Dynamundo? Or, oh, I wonder if it's the Nightmare Griffin. We'll see. We'll see how things play out here. They're going to chain to our Maxi with Maxi, but we have the Ash Blossom here, so no extra draws for them. Alright, here's the Wake Cup Earl. We're going to actually respond with the IP Masquerena right off rip. Linking with the White Binder. And yeah, this is going to be the Nightmare Griffin. Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen a combo go IP into Nightmare Griffin. That's cool. And of course, because the Allied Code Talker doesn't point up, we don't give our opponent any arrows to work with here. Got the GWC coming online as well. And they're going to concede. What a nasty combo. I'm actually kind of down to try something like this out. I think I might do that in my spare time here today. Wow, that was excellent. Thank you very much, Galatea I, for that submission there. We got time for one more, so let's finish off with that. And for our final replay, we have Ekudo, who is playing against Dracotail and is actually bringing a deck that I have not seen in multiple years, and that is Virtual World. Virtual World is an archetype that some of you might have never heard of, but believe it or not, when Master Duel first came out in 2022, this was actually a tier 1 deck. Now granted, a lot of the reason for that was the fact that the true King of all calamities, rank 9, was the deck's main endboard piece and would stop your opponent from using pretty much any monster effects at all. A sort of lingering floodgate effect. So with that banned, Virtual World kind of ended up falling off in power level quite a bit. However, it looks like we've combined it with not only Centurion, but also Goblin Biker / Armored Xyz package here as well. So very eager to see how that all fits together. And for our opponent's deck, it looks like they're just going to be on a pretty standard branded Dracotail. We are going second here, and we've seen an example in this video already of somebody playing through a Maxi and taking the challenge, or I believe it was a Fulos actually. Here this time, I think that's going to end up happening yet again. Okay, they're going to begin with Fallen of the White Dragon, summoning out Incredible Ecclesia. Synchroing for 8, of course that'll be Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon. Ecclesia effect's going to activate, summoning out Blazing Cartesia. That's going to fuse the Ecclesia and Magnum Hut in their hand in order to summon out the Secretarian Dragon. That'll get to activate here, reviving the white Albaz and putting back Ecclesia. Now they're linking Fallen of the White and Incredible... or Cartessia, rather. Okay, so they're going to make the Vert Anaconda. Now Anaconda's going to dump Branded Fusion, fusing with an Albaz from deck in order to make the Mirror Jade. So it looks like they didn't actually manage to find any of their Dracotale stuff in their opening hand here. But they do still have the Mirror Jade, the Ecclesia, and the Secretarian. Alright, we're going to begin with Virtual World City Kowloon. And sure enough, they are going to have a Maxi. But we are going second here, which does give us a little bit of advantage playing into that. It means that, of course, we have the ability to just try to push through and end the duel on this turn. Now, the Continuous spell here, when that activated, we were actually able to negate the effects of the Mirror Jade here. And it says even if this card leaves the field. So even if we do end up sending this later, this will still be negated. Looks like they're going to Ash Blossom the Gigi. Which that effect would have, which is that one? Oh, we send a Virtual World card to add one back from grave to hand. Right. And see, it's been so long since these cards have come up that I'm just not used to seeing them around. But Virtual World, believe it or not, is not just a good synchro engine. It's actually really good for making Xyz monsters as well. Particularly rank 3s and 6s, because normally Virtual World is trying to synchro for either 6 or 9, but of course if you're just spinning out a bunch of level 3s or 6s, you can make rank 3s and rank 6s as well. And Virtual World is not just a synchro archetype, it's also got Xyz monsters within the archetype as well. We're going to use the Big Gabonga to attach one of their monsters as material here. They are going to summon Albaz off of the Ecclesia there, meaning they can fuse with the Big Gabonga to make the Rindabrum. They can't make another Mirror Jade, of course, because you can only control one Mirror Jade. Now we're going to sync for 6. It's going to be the Coral Dragon. Coral Dragon's going to get to activate here. We'll dump the GG in order to pop the Rindabrum. Rindabrum going to respond, negating, and then bouncing. Although I imagine the Coral Dragon was mostly intended just to bait that out. Now we got the Roshi Lao Lao effect. Fun fact, that card actually used to be semi-limited at one point. It didn't really ever deserve it, but it was, for whatever it's worth. Alright, they're using Fine Meta to make the Arthelion by fusing an extra Ash Blossom with the Malulu in hand as we go to use the Lao Lao effect to special summon and revive the Gigi. Now Arthelion's going to try to bounce our cards, and then Malulu's also going to activate here, setting Rahu Dracotale for a follow-up turn that I don't think will ever end up coming. Now we're going to normal summon Gigi, we can activate the Nyan Nyan in our graveyard, and then we can overlay for yet another rank 3. This time we are making the Xyz Armor Torpedo. Now Torpedo effect's going to activate, we'll detach 2 in order to draw 1. And we can overlay the Lancer on top of it, or the Fortress. Lancer's a 7. Fortress effect will activate, detaching to add full armored Xyz. And yeah, here is the Dark Knight Lancer. No, it's full armored Crystal Zero Lancer. We're going to use the Grand Entrance in order to add and then special summon the Boom Mock. Now it can use the Virtual Gate Zhan Wu, I think, rather. I probably butchered that, apologies, in order to revive and synchro for 6. It's Coral Dragon yet again. Now Coral Dragon can activate. Because the only once per turn effect is the drawing a card if it's in as a synchro material. Alright, now here's the full armored Dark Knight Lancer. And then Boom Mock's going to activate detaching in order to revive. Now we can synchro for 9. And that's going to be the Virtual World QB Shen Shen. Shen Shen does have a bit of a floodgate effect. Anything on the field sent to the graveyard will get banished instead. We can take control of their Mirror Jade here. Now we're going to go full Armored Xyz effect. And that can also equip the Arthelion. And suddenly our board is a lot bigger than the opponent's. We can even put back the banished Ecclesia there before just swinging in for lethal all in one hit. So there you go. Doesn't matter if they have Fulos, doesn't matter if they have Maxi. You all cannot be stopped with your awesome pile decks. Thank you so much for that submission, not only to Ekudo and to everyone who was featured, but also really got to thank even those who were not featured. You know, it really does make all the difference. Even if your game wasn't featured in this week's episode, there's always the next week and the week after. We do this every single week. And also, if we didn't get any submissions, we wouldn't have a viewer special series. So they're all very valuable. Thank you so very much for your time. But that is going to do it for now. Before we sign off, let's move on to the outro so we can thank our YouTube members and Patreon subscribers. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.